Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, welcome. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank y'all so much for coming back. I do appreciate all of you guys being here. So today I wanted to speak on something that I've been getting some questions about, and I thought it was a good, conversation starter. But first, my name is Shalise. I'm a 40-year-old mama, wife, and work bee, and my husband and I are trying to reach financial freedom. So I'm not a financial advisor or fiduciary. I share our investing and financial journey here on YouTube to, take down some of the anxiety and fear around finance and learn how to approach it in a healthy, constructive way. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and beware of scammers and fake pages. So I found this article here on CNBC, and then later in the video, I'm going to show you what my husband and I are doing so that we don't have to have this anxiety around if we were to get laid off. I know I've been getting people asking me questions about, what do we have in place in case we get laid off? I know people who have been laid off. If you turn on the news, if you turn on social media, I mean, it's everywhere. A lot of people are getting laid off for many reasons, from all walks of life, genders, races, etc. And one of the things that I've realized over the years is that you can't really, you don't want to put all of your hopes and dreams into a company, into a politician, into a celebrity, into anything, because at the end of the day, you are responsible for yourself and your family. And you always want to make sure that you are putting yourself in the best possible position that you can, because you just never know. And even if you don't get laid off, if you have a medical issue that forces you to take a sabbatical and you have to stop working, and perhaps you do get, short-term disability, but what if it's not enough to cover all of your bills? You want to make sure, again, when it comes to your finances, that you have a solid financial foundation. Americans. So I'll have this link to this article down below, but it talks about, 1 in 3 Americans have anxiety about layoffs, right? And, if you were to be laid off, this is a question. If you were to be laid off, let's say tomorrow, how much money do you have, whether in savings, in your investments, maybe through side hustles? How much money do you have in terms of, it supporting you? Like, how long can it support you? Maybe a week, maybe a month, maybe a couple of months, maybe a year. Let me know down below, how long could you survive based off of what you have saved and invested, if you were to be laid off, okay? And so this article really goes into detail about, workers just being on edge about, the economy. And then I know they're like the government is cutting a lot of jobs and a lot of unnecessary, what they call unnecessary, being let go. And a lot of people who are still working are stressed. They're highly stressed about what's going to happen to them. Are they going to get laid off? So one of the things that I always tell people to do, because I've been in this situation before, especially with a medical issue and having, like, I don't know if I've mentioned it, but I'll give you guys a refresher. I've had 2 breast surgeries, because of lumps, 2. And so when you are told by a doctor, hey, we feel something, we got to go in so that we can take it out, do a biopsy, the first thing that's on your mind is mortality, right? Is it cancer? Is it not cancer? How bad is it? Etc. And the second thing that's really close to the mortality thought is money. Am I going to be able to support, the medical cost that comes along with breast cancer? Am I going to be able to, support the home? Is my income that's missing will be able to, help? And so, thank God that it wasn't cancer. But again, when you have these experiences, when you have these moments that really make you stop and think, like, wait a minute, how long could I survive? Could I eat? Could I pay the rent, the mortgage, get the things that the kids need? If there's car issues, how long could I actually survive if something were to happen, right? And so, as many Americans having these layoff anxieties because of the market, the job market, and the economy, and the things of the like, what you can do, and what this article talks about, is that you can really go into your budget. You need to be making a budget. If you don't have one, you need to make a budget. I have my website is down below. I created spreadsheets, trackers. I have digital things. I have groups, private things going on. So if you feel like, you know what, I need some accountability, I need some motivation because I can see the writing on the wall. I need to make sure I'm putting myself in the best possible position in case something happened, right? We're trying to play defense here. We want to make sure we're protecting ourselves and our family. And so you want to make sure that you are doing a budget. And this article talks about it. Do a budget. You can conquer it by doing a budget. You can make sure any unnecessary bills, subscriptions that you know honestly you don't use, you haven't read a magazine in a while, you haven't watched Netflix, it's okay to cancel it and let that extra money that you were spending towards that be used, to save more. Maybe pay off some of those high interest credit cards, personal loans, etc., because you don't want to find yourself in a position where you just don't have enough for the basics. I'm talking about food, water, shelter, utilities, gas for the car, basics, things like that. You also want to make sure that if you are not investing, you should be investing. Talk about a way to beat inflation over the long term. Investing is where it's at. My husband and I have been investing consistently for 10 years now. So I would consider myself a somewhat seasoned investor at this point. And one of the things I've learned is that investing is where wealth is built. And real estate, but investing too. And we were not taught about it growing up, okay? We weren't taught about it in schools, but it's still not an excuse because with the age of the internet, and YouTube especially, there is so much information in terms of how to invest as a beginner. You want to update your resume. You want to make sure that you're networking and that you're keeping in contact with those people just in case. You want to make sure that, and this is something I do, you want to make sure you keep your own file of any achievements, anything good that you have done. If somebody say, hey, you did a great job with that presentation, please send it in an email. Can you sit it in, Microsoft Teams? Maybe you can even text it to me. I need something in writing that says you think I did a great job. And what did I do that made you say that? You want to make sure you're keeping your own files, your own records, so that if something were to happen, again, you're putting yourself in the best possible position because yes, there is unemployment, but that can take time, right? And so you want to make sure that if you were not able to get severance, if you were not able to get a job lined up right away, that you have this arsenal behind you to help keep you afloat. So what I'm going to do is share with you some of the things that my husband and I do to make sure that we don't have this anxiety in the event something should happen. So this essentially is our financial foundation. It's simple, it's to the point, it's something that my husband and I can refer to that really can keep us motivated and keep us calm if something were to happen. Again, I cannot control the future. I cannot control what companies do. The only thing I can control is what I do. So I put these foundations, fail safe, these safety nets in place so that if something were to happen to the jobs, if a medical scare were to happen, we don't have to lose sleep worrying about it. So us having an emergency fund, having 6 months of expenses, and yes, our goal is a year, but slowly working up to a year, but at least have 6 months or 3 to 6 months if you can. And the way you get there is slowly getting to 1 month. Then you get to 2 months. Then you get to 3 months. You're not going to jump in and get 6 months right away. A lot of you guys who are getting tax refunds, this is a great time to use that tax refund wisely. Are you getting a bonus? This is a great time to use that bonus wisely. Next is our investments. Earning dividends and getting growth from our taxable accounts helps us to have an extra source of income if we were to need it. If one of us were to get laid off and that income source was missing, we can resort to our investments, our dividend portfolio that we're getting hundreds of dollars every month from our taxable accounts to help with groceries and gas, maybe paying a light bill or a water bill. Something is better than nothing. And then our retirement accounts, knowing that we have some money set aside in the future. So right now, yeah, there may be a roadblock, but we still have money working towards our future in a 401k, in an HSA, in a Roth IRA. Take advantage of these accounts. And then real estate. I mentioned before, we have 3 rentals and 1 main home. If we needed to sell one of the rentals, right? Across those 3 rental properties, it's about $320,000 in equity, right? That we could sell those properties and have that money to, help sustain us if we had a hard time trying to find employment, right? Because we used to be able to find, employment in a couple of weeks to a month. Now it's taking 6 to 18 months on average to find, a new job. And so again, if something were to happen, we could resort to that. And then side hustles, right? Monetizing our gifts. I love talking. I love finance and investing, and I'm like a people person. So this is a great outlet for me to be able to use my gifts to motivate other people while, getting paid for that gift, and really being authentic and transparent, and really being that sister, that big sister, somebody that can help, my other investing besties to kind of be wiser, be smarter with the money that they come in contact with. And let me tell you guys, this takes sacrifice. We have a high savings rate. So we do give, we do pay our bills, but we don't have whole lot of like fancy stuff. I drive a 2012 Honda minivan. I have 3 kids. No matter what I do, they scratch things up, stain things, peel things off. They just, kids are just destructive, right? But the car runs, it operates well, everything is working. So what's the point of me going to buy a new minivan and I don't need to, when I can put all that extra money that would be going to a car payment to an emergency fund, to, savings and investments, to a side hustle, to, another property. These are things that we are doing right now to help safeguard us if something were to happen. Okay. So I just wanted to come on here and just share with you guys, if you're having anxiety around layoffs, this is something that you can do if you were to be laid off. You got to be proactive with this, right? You have to make sure anything that's not necessary, you cut out of your budget, you save, you invest, you pay off debt, you take a little bit, 5 to 10%. You can have fun with that, but the majority of what you're making or what you're getting, you definitely should be wise with it. Same with birthdays, right? Anniversaries, Mother's Day, if you're getting some cash, Father's Day, ask for cash and you can save it. You can invest it. You can put that money to work for you, because again, you can see around your job, whether you're hearing whispers or they're having budget issues or people getting laid off. You can't ignore the flags. You got to see them for what they are and then get prepared. Okay. So let me know down below again, how long could you survive if you were to be laid off? And let me know, because I love chatting with you guys down there. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Smash notification bell so that you don't miss an upload every time I post a video. And until next time, y'all already know, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.